Hi. Welcome to Myers ASMR. I'm so glad you're here. I hope you're feeling well, relaxed, about to jump into this great story. But right now, I'm kind of thirsty. So, let me taste a little bit of this cantaloupe. Mmm. Delicioso. You know, I'm seriously thinking of going to Mexico for a few months. And making some eating videos there. Hey, you can sponsor me. Cantaloupe. Well, today I'm going to pick up with the chapter called The Privilege of Being Human. Wow. Whoever thought of that? I mean, I feel like being human is a real privilege, something that we should be grateful for and not take for granted. But first, I gotta have something to drink. This is Twining's chai. Wow, that's great. Ooh, I was so thirsty. It's kind of hot in here. All right. Well, let's get into it. Let me move this over here. I've got a pretty small, tight setup in here. Everything is done in my tiny studio apartment, so I have this little corner with a table. Otherwise, everything else is all cluttered. The privilege of being human. I remember a vina player, a very wonderful musician who used to play and study many hours a day, but whenever he had to play before an audience, he became self-conscious. The first thought that came to him was himself. And when that happened, all the impressions of the people there would fall upon him. Generally, he would then take his vina, cover it up, and run away. On the other hand, I have heard Sarah Bernhardt simply recite the Marseillaise. That was all. But when she appeared on the stage and recited this poem, she would win every heart in the audience. For, at that time, it was during the war, she was France. What enabled her to be France was her concentration, her way of forgetting herself. Character building is much greater and more important than the building of a house, a city, a nation, or an empire. One might ask why it is so important, as it is only the building of our insignificant self, while many have built an edifice or even a nation and they are gone and there is no memory of them left. The Taj Mahal is one of the most wonderful buildings in the world. Those who see it, artists, architects, have a great admiration for it. But that is all. No one cares who made it. No one's heart is moved on account of the builder. To this day, the Hindus repeat early in the morning, Ram, Ram. The Buddhists call on the Lord Buddha and the Christians on Christ. Why? Only because of the personalities of these holy ones, the magnetism that was theirs. The words of Christ spoken so many hundreds of years ago are remembered today simply because of his personality. It is not spirituality alone. There have been many Majdubs who were very spiritual. Majdubs. They were united with God, but they have gone and no one remembers them. It is not piety. There are many pious people sitting in the mosque and churches telling their rosaries. Their piety is for themselves. They cannot move the world. So if it is not spirituality and not piety, what is it then? It is the development of humanity in us. This development concerns our intelligence, our heart, and our mind. It concerns the intelligence because if we have love but no intelligence to know the pleasure of the beloved, then we can be a great lover, but our love will be of no avail. It concerns the heart. Because if we have intelligence but no feeling, no sympathy, we may speak very politely, we may be very polished in manner. But if there is bitterness within, if we do not feel what we say, if we would be better if we had, it would be better if we had not said anything. It concerns the mind because if we have intelligence and feeling but no thoughtfulness, no sense of what is appropriate, we are ignorant. One may be well acquainted with European manners and decorum, but if one is sent to the court of an Eastern king, one will be at a loss. Or a person may know all the etiquette of an Indian court, but if he comes to Europe, he knows nothing about Western ways. I gotta clear my throat. It is a great privilege to be human, so that we can develop our humanity and be human in mind, in reality as well as in form. The privilege consists in being man, who is the ideal of God. It is not the rock which does not know whether a king, a beggar, a holy man, or a wicked person stands upon it. It is not the angels who have no heart to feel with and for another, who only feel the praise of God and praise him. It is man who has been given a heart. A Hindustani poet says to become a Nabi, saint, prophet, Gauth, Kutub is very difficult. What shall I tell you of the struggles of their life, since it is even difficult for man to become human? Indeed, to attain to spiritual grades is very difficult. We should first try to become a human. To become an angel is not very difficult. To be material is very easy. But to live in the world, in all the difficulties and struggles of the world, and to be human at the same time, is very difficult. If we become that, then we become the miniature of God on earth. Woo, I need a sip of tea. Chapter 22. The Heart. From a mystical point of view, personality is formed around the heart. For a materialist, the heart is the piece of flesh hidden in the breast, But for the mystic, the heart is the center of the person around which the personality is formed. Consciously or unconsciously, man loves the word heart, and if we were to ask a poet to leave that word out and write his poems without using it, he would never satisfy himself or others. Few people think of this, yet the poets who have most appealed to humanity have used the word heart most. For what is man? Man is heart. Man is his heart. A dead heart means a dead man. A living heart, a living man. People look for wonder working and surprises, for phenomena of all kinds. Yet the greatest phenomenon, the greatest surprise, and the greatest wonder are to be found in one's heart. If there is anything that can tune man to the highest pitch, that can tune the strings of his soul to the right note, it is only the tuning of the heart. The one who has not reached his heart has not reached God. People may be relations, friends, partners, collaborators, and yet be quite separate. Nearness in space does not make people real friends. There is only one way of coming near to one's friends, and that is by way of the heart. If there is anything that is the most wonderful in heaven and on earth, it is the heart. If a miracle is to be found anywhere, it is in the heart. For when God has tuned the heart, what is there that is not to be found in it? The Nizam of Hyderabad once wrote, "If one only knew how large the heart is, it accommodates heaven and earth, all the sea and all the land. The greatness or smallness of people does not depend on outer things. Whatever rank or position a person has, if his heart is not great, he cannot be great. And if his heart is great, he remains great under all circumstances. It is the heart that makes one great or small." Hearts can be of different kinds. There's the golden heart, the silver heart, the copper heart, the iron heart. The golden heart shows its color and its beauty. It is precious, and at the same time it is soft. The silver heart shows inferior qualities compared with the golden heart, yet coins are made of silver. It is useful. Of the copper heart, pennies are made, and pennies too are useful in everyday life. They are even more used than gold and silver coins. Copper is strong and hard, and it needs many hammerings to shape it and make something out of it. Then there is the iron heart, which must be put into the fire before anything can be done with it. When the iron becomes hot in the glowing fire, then we can make something out of it, but the blacksmith must be always ready. As soon as the fire begins to glow, he must start at once. If he lets it go, it will turn cold in a moment. Besides these aspects, there is the heart of rock and the heart of wax. The heart of rock must be broken. It must be cut. Nothing reaches it. Cold, heat, fire, sun, or water has little effect upon the heart of rock. But when the heart is of wax, it melts as soon as the sun falls upon it. And when it is heated, one can mold it any way one likes. Then there is the heart of paper that flies like a kite in the wind, to the north, to the south, to the east, to the west. One can control it as long as the string is strong enough to hold it, but when there is no wind, it drops down. Are these examples sufficient? No, there are innumerable hearts, each differing in quality. And once we begin to distinguish the qualities of the heart, we begin to see miracles, living phenomena, every moment of our life. Is there anything that can be compared with the heart? It dies and lives again. It is torn and mended again. It is broken and made whole. It can rise and it can fall. And after falling, it can rise again. And after rising, it can fall again instantly. There is one heart that can creep, another that can walk, another that can run, another that can fly. And yet we cannot limit the action of the heart. We cannot imagine how the heart can be illuminated and darkened in a moment. It is a maze we enter, and when we are inside, we can never get out. The heart can be confusion, and it can be paradise. It can be heaven itself. And if we ask where we can see the soul manifest to view, it is in the heart. Where is paradise? Where is heaven? Where is love and where is God? We can answer each of these questions by saying, in the heart of man. And that concludes today's story time. Stay tuned for the rest of this incredible book, which I've been reading in parts over the last several months. Well, thanks for watching. You can help me out by donating to my Cash App, liking and subscribing, and catch me in the next video.